Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Ahlan wa sahlan ya Sidi wa Habibi. This is Dr. Shahid Raza Barni, senior journalist from Pune, Maharashtra, India. I will take you back to the days of my journey with Arab News, better called as the Green Truth. I was overwhelmed by the tributes that was paid to me and my work by my boss, and he still remains my boss, Dr. Khalid Abdul Rahim Al Maina. My association with him stands now for 36 years, full of loyalty, trust, and faith. He was always my supporter. He helped me in my crisis. He stood by me in my good and bad times. My association with him was as a subordinate, where I joined him from Saudi business when it became defunct to Arab News. We were three people that were taken by him in Arab News. Accommodated, I can say better. And one was myself, another was my colleague, Mr. Javed Hassan, who was with Arab News Riyadh Bureau. And third was Mr. Doug Graham, an American. We spent very good times. There was complete faith in my work by Mr. Khalid, and the way he has described me in his latest video, My Journey with Arab News Part 8, is very highly commendable. There is not a single day when he does not call me or to ask my welfare or my family. And he stood by me like a rock in all times. Journalism apart, yes, true, I was not with editing because I did not want to get stuck up to the desk for 8 hours or 12 hours, but rather when doing coordinating work with our bureau place, our staff in USA and other parts, and the work assigned to me by my boss. It is to my credit that Dr. Khalid Al Maina was the person who introduced me to many world dignitaries and to some very big businessmen, Saudi businessmen, diplomats from various countries who used to visit our office. He gave me a big exposure. He took me in the meeting when he did not allow any others to come. And that is one of the things, his faith in me and trust in me was very solid. We have seen so many dignitaries come. I can't name them, it's a number of them. And because of this report, with the diplomats, American, UK, Rwanda, Canada, UK, that exposure gave me to become closer to the system. Now, whenever someone wanted a visa and they were denied the visa, they used to approach Dr. Khalid and he used to tell me that please do this work for them. So that was my context with the diplomats, which gave the access to get a visas. I remember a time came when our publisher, Hisham Ali and Muhammad Ali Hafiz uncle, Mr. Uthman Hafiz, was very sick and very serious, and they needed a visa for him to take to USA. The embassy was closed on Sunday. So Mr. Khalid told me that, look here, we have to get this person anyhow with a visa to get him to USA. So I remember Mr. Henry Ensher. He was a top diplomat in the US consulate in Jeddah. I called him and I told him I have a very urgent need. The question is of life and death for a publisher's relative, and can you help me? He said, okay, send a passport to me, I'll get it done. That was the reason where even the Director General, Deputy Director General of Administration, Mr. Yasser Dabbagh, was very anxious to get the visas at any cost. And I had got that way. That was a thing where he was taken to USA. And all my administration, all the Saudis, of course, who were helped, they appreciated my role. And then wherever whoever wanted to have a visa, I had to do their job. So it was very, the honor given to me. I honored it. It was a very big thing for me. An Indian with nothing is, you're down the ladder, you're there, but you get that image. Whether it was sometimes I had the Director General, his son Director General Faisal Al-Shibani, he did not get a visa for Singapore, and so was the Director General that time, Mr. Ahmad Mahmood. His son Ahmad Mahmood did not have these visas. And Mr. Khalid called me and told me, Edgar Hoover, he used to call me Edgar Hoover. And he said, Edgar Hoover, we have to get this visa for this guy. You do it. You can do anything. So I came to be labeled as can do anything. Though I was an Indian, then what credibility will you have got as an Indian abroad. So I just had this thing and I went and got them the visa from Mr. Lee. And he was. So they were very happy in this thing that, yes, yeah. So he was very happy and very proud of me. Even his family, all his family, Mrs. Samar Patani, she was a senior radio broadcaster in Jeddah Radio. And his other families, his younger brother, Sheikh Tariq Al-Maina, they were the people very high. But still, when it comes to visa, I have to get the visa for the maids. It was very difficult to get visas for the maids from America. But we got it. That was the thing which brought me to the level where I could do anything. And all credit goes to Dr. Khalid Al-Maina. One thing which he hated, that I should not indulge in psychopathy. He says, call spade a spade and get out. That's all. So being a very kind and noble and affable person, people were very envy because he used to be with me at airport. We used to go to the airport together. It was like a family thing. And that was one, people never liked it. We had a lobby of editors from India, maybe about 30, and mostly everyone except Mr. Sayyid Liaquat Hussain, late Liaquat, who I respect very highly, all were the psychopaths, yes sir and no sir, and which I hated. And that is why people never liked me. He says, what is this person? Okay. And one of my friends, who was my colleague, and which I do always call, was Mr. K.S. Ramkumar, a very senior Indian journalist, a reporter of Indian Express and number of newspapers in India, and he was there. So Khalid Al-Maina, Dr. Khalid Al-Maina used to tell me, you are one, because Mr. Khalid Al-Maina knew, born in Bombay and schooled in and colleged in Karachi, Pakistan. He knew Punjabi, he knew Hindi, and he knew Urdu, and he knew English and Arabic, number of languages. So he used to say, it is your team. Where is Ram? If he want to find Ram, where is Ram? He used to call me. Where is Ram Kumar? Call him. We have to do some story. So that was the thing which I do appreciate, his kindness, his graciousness, his families. And he was the person who used to give me ticket every Thursday. I want to come to India, to my family, to meet my family and come back on Saturday. I used to tell him, I want the ticket to go to. So he used to tell me, yes, okay. He used to get me first class tickets. to Bombay, and even for my family and all. And that was on Saudi Airlines. And then he used to tell me, okay, you be here before I leave abroad or somewhere. You should be in office. You have to control the situation here and let me know what is happening. I should be aware what is happening. I said, yes, sir, it is true. And that was his confidence that I used to come to India, and once a managing editor, he was a person, I can't describe in what way I can describe him. He's the late Mr. Farooq Luqman. He was very, because some people who were against me, they used to, ignited fire in his ears and say, yes, he's there. So he asked Dr. Khalid Al-Maina one day that how is he going every time to India? Who gives him the ticket? Mr. Khalid was always a cigar smoker. He smoked cigars. He took the puff and he says, he put the finger up and he says, Allah gives him the ticket. So he said, what person? He was so irritated. He said, I'm telling him who gives, and he's telling me Allah gives him the ticket. So he never liked me for one reason, that he was saying that these two people are the people who are controlling and running this Arab news. One is Dr. Khalid Al-Maina and another is myself. Well, that was not the truth. Mr. Khalid, when it comes to things, he was very strict. So I never think, but it was a loyalty of now 37 years which is going on. And I was very surprised when there's no element of surprise, but happiness and joy that he still till today, from 1992 till 2022, is a long journey where he did not betray me, he did not let me down, he did not, whatever I wanted from India for my banks and all letters and all, he used to give and sign it and give it. That was the thing, that is the bond of friendship or brotherhood, which we say. And still today, he calls me and he asks me about my welfare. And when we look into that thing, what happened to this, we think that these things, loyalty does pay. But it may be, not in many cases, but it may be, it pays it. I do not regret anything. Arab News journey has been very long to me. It is 1982 to 1993, and then up to 2011 with a break after I came back to India. But still, if any staff reporter had a problem within Arab News, though I had nothing to do then, I was in India, they used to call me and used to tell, please tell Mr. Khalid to help us. This is happening, we are having problems with the managing editor and the thing. So I used to call him wherever he was in Russia or something, and he used to, and these things has to be resolved. Once I remember, my friend, Mr. Ram Kumar, he was fired, and a notice was issued to pack him up next day. And so was another journalist, it was Habib Sheikh. So I called him and I said, this is thing and this is happening. He was in Dammam for the Gulf War was going on that time. And that time he was there. I said, this is, he said, who ordered? I said, the managing editor, Mr. Farooq Luqman. He says, no, go and tell the general manager, administration, that this will not do and cancel that they are firing. They will retain and they will remain till I am there. This was his greatness. We cancelled those things. It was big, setback for Farooq Luqman. But in some cases, Farooq Luqman did invite troubles from himself. I remember he once called me, he asked to bring a master player for him, to a staffer, and my friend, good friend, Saeed Haider from India. When he did not bring or he did not come, something happened. He was in the galley, attitude galley, and was shouting, where is that? Where is Saeed Haider? Loudly. And his voice was very much louder than me. And he said, where is Saeed Haider? And he says, he's clinically dead. Okay? Now, because someone has not brought him, he becomes the enemy of that person. That's very bad. And he had his lackeys, minions from the teleprinter operators to layout artists to proofreaders to darkroom boys, everyone he was there. The only person he could not control and was not, it was me. And I was there because God helped me, and it was Mr. Khalid, Dr. Khalid Al Maina, who helped me. So your work works. And when we have to have the ministers and ambassadors, you will not believe me. Any ambassador had to come and sit before me, before he could meet him, spend a lifetime, and then he used to come late. That was the thing, he gave it to me. Every meeting he used to take me, which is not clear. And when he put this word and he appreciated my thing in the YouTube, it is on the YouTube, you can see it, and he did appreciate very much the work of mine. My friend Ram Kumar, she wrote a very good reply to Mr. Khalid Al Maina on his mention in the YouTube, my journey with Arab News Party. He wrote by me. Even Ram Kumar, he did not write to him directly, but he sent the reply to be forwarded to him by me. He said, "Respected Ustad Khalid sir, greetings. It gave me immense pleasure to listen to your latest part 8 of your memorable journey with Arab News, as was the case with all your earlier parts. At the outset, your reference to me with kind words and appreciation is something which I will cherish for the rest of my life. Very great words. I must say, and not just to please you, that yours was deservedly the golden era in Arab news history." Here he starts speaking the truth. What is Arab news today? What is truth? It is all due to Dr. Khalid Al Maina. This was what the green tooth, we call the green tooth, Arab news, the green tooth. You had a knack of knowledge each member of your staff personally and professionally and expected them to deliver to your best satisfaction. I was crestfallen when the tape recorder that recorded your interview with Sheikh Ahmad Jufali was lost. But it was your magnanimity and kindness that helped me recover, reassuring myself that I had to raise the bar professionally. Very good, Ramu. When I joined on November 18, 1982, Dave Kaiser, an American, headed the local desk, and it was a real pleasure to work with him as he encouraged me to edit and headline local stories in addition to reporting. That's true. About Javed Jiwani, the late Javed Jiwani, everything you have said is what he was. One other beautiful headline that he gave was B.A. Wu's Virgin. The story was about British Airways trying to acquire Virgin Airlines then. Javed headed the economic desk, but soon you realized his potential and moved him to front page. During my vacations, I would take it a point to visit him. He had tremendous respect for you. As for about Shahid Barni, much has been said by you and much more can be said about his role during your time. He was truly a man for all seasons. He too knew every staff member well and skillfully tackled them as well as others when they needed help. As editorial coordinator, he established excellent rapport with everyone and smoothly operated as a link between you and your staff. In fact, he tackled staff problems well enough before reaching you. Now, this is what he is saying about, even he talked about Mr. Javed Hassan. He said, Javed Hassan was a live wire in Riyadh, and you have very well said about him. During my visits to Bengaluru, we would call each other and meet to discuss joint projects, but that never took off. He was already well entrenched in the city's commercial publication setup. Your references about Khalid Nazar, Wahib Gorab, Sid Ahmad, Ilyas Haddad, etc. are apt and well deserving. We would refer to Sid Ahmad as Sir Sid. Finally, I must say, the graph of Arab News, both in terms of content and circulation, remained upward all through under your stewardship. You as editor-in-chief had made all the difference. With kind and respectful regards from me and my wife. Now this is the words which my friend Ramu, who was the reporter there, he had said he now is in India. Now mostly what our team is back in India. We do not have anyone there left from my period. But what we look into Arab news, that all the seeds from 1992 to 2011 were the work of the Green Throws was with Dr. Khalid Al-Manna. His only what happened is that the politics played made roles, and one single incident was enough to for him and me to leave it. That I will narrate in some other time. But here I would say that a person, a journalist of his caliber, a internationally figured journalist, Dr. Khalid Al-Manna, he was everywhere on BBC, NBC, Canadian TV, Indian TVs. He had a lot of things. And he did not need to be glorified. He hated flattery. He did not like flattery. And that is why I think so that whatever is Arab news, today Arab news has died in a way. Arab news is never what it was during his time. Arab news today has gone into wrong hands, into people who do not know anything. We have a few Indian sycophants. They are there. In India, they would not be, they should be somewhere down, very down among the lakhs of journalists that we have in India. But we Indians have a little bit of weaknesses of sycophancy to please their foreign bosses. And that is their biggest weakness. But when we did it with dignity. There was principle. There was, prestige. We never succumbed to anyone. Those who know about Yasir Dabbar, he was a terror in the administration. No one could. But he used to come to my cabin. He used to sit with me, have a cigarettes and all. People were very surprised that how he come and how he has rapport with me. But I did also have other thing that which I will never do, I'll never do. So I think so that the best thing is that to be upright, fearless, honest, sincere, and to have trust. I came back to India not for my fault, it was someone else's fault. It was but I paid it because I did not want my boss to be in trouble with anyway. When others deserted him during the 1993 episode, I was the only person who struggled, who sacrificed everything, my family, my job and all, because of loyalty. I did not gain anything. But that was my loyalty, which I stood then and I stood today and I stand today. So I never did sycophancy. No one can say I was sycophancy. Yes, that is why people call you rude, arrogant, or because you don't. And still that is in me. And the person who instilled this fearlessness in me and made me a bold journalist, the credit goes to my assistant editor, then assistant editor in India, in current newspaper, Mr. B.G. Kaushi. He is alive, he is very dear today. He is as young as he was when I was there. I become a little bit aged, he is looking young, though he is aged. So he instilled in me and a group of young journalists. So I owe a lot to him, and I hope that Mr. Khalid, who is an international figure, he is the best person in Saudi Arabia or in the Middle East to speak on any subject, even in Pakistan and India. He is a authority on that. And people do call him from all the print, electronic media. So he is the best person to have, but he should be rewarded. He has not been rewarded. He did so much for the Indian journalists. All the 50 journalists, 30 journalists who were there, they were because of him in Arab news. Otherwise, he would have continued with the Americans and the Britishers and the Irish and all that. It was Mr. Khalid, because it was Mr. Lukman's work to have these people. But then he got rid of all of them and he brought in the Indians. And that Indians, he took care of them. I will explain to you how he took care of Mr. T.S. Balram, a person whose wife was suffering from cancer, and how We had many people. We had L. Ram Narayan, though I do not appreciate the way it was done, but it was done to have it. And if he is ungrateful or people are ungrateful, you can't help it. But people betrayed him in 1993 and they betrayed him in 2011. But still, he does not have any grudge against them. So we look into it. Here you have people who are, you see, Arab News in by any way, the Green Tooth is not in a profit today. It is in loss. They don't have the readership that which Green Tooth had during time of Mr. Khalid. It was to 70,000 and all. I don't think so. It is a profitable venture now, because I hardly think that it will be around about something about 8,000 something, not more than that. Because Saudis don't read Arab news. They say we will read in Washington Post or what do you call it, the Daily Telegraph or the Boston Globe and all, but we will not, because we get a lot of things where we cannot read it in Arab news. It is good for the Indian expatriates, but not for the others. So I think so that I have spoken very well enough, and I said that I have spoken very truthfully and honestly. I do not need any compliments, I do not need any appreciation, anything, because whatever will come, it will come from God Almighty. If He has destined to me to have something, it will come. But I do think, I try to help people. That is my thing which I learned from Dr. Khalid Al-Maina, that to help the poor people. Whether even a beggar on the street, if he comes and asks me to help, I'll ask him. But I am not a person who is fearless, who cannot be a psychopath. Come on, life is not in their hands. Life is in the hand of God. That is what I believe. If death has to come, it is inevitable. It will come in any moment, in any way. Even a second it will come. So why we should be afraid of that? If death has to come, it will come. So I wish this. I will continue my journey with Green Truth in my next episode. Till then, please I take your leave, and I hope to receive your comments on that thing, and look forward to see you again